Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. This is a new set video, but with a little twist.
We're grading every rare from Modern Horizons 2 for Commander.
And Mythics. I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. If you're enjoying our daily content, this might be the 100th video we've done in a row. I lost track. Go to the Patreon. You can support us with dollar bills or other equivalent currency. And you check out a link in the description, which will take you to tcgplayer.com. If you use the link, then buy cards you were going to buy anyway, we get a kickback that you don't spend any money on. Whoa.
So hopping right into the video, we're grading all the rares in Mythics from Modern Horizons 2. We're giving them all grades. There's a lot of them to get through, so we're going to kind of skip our spiel for the beginning. If you're not sure about our grading system, head to any other grading video and we go over the whole thing. Really quick version of it. A, auto include. B, build around. C, cuttable. D, don't bother. And F, forget about it. The easiest way to remember this is the lower the grade, the more of a reason you need to play it. Quick note, not CDH. Some of these cards might be really good in CDH and terrible in regular DH. But those aren't going to get high grades because not CDH.
We never talk about CDH for these reviews. It just changes too much, and we need to stick to one thing, and we're not even a CDH channel, so there you go. Also, this video is already going to be really long. We can't read all these cards. They are going to be on screen if you want to just pause the video for a sec and read it if you're not familiar, but we have to go with already knowing what they do and just reviewing them. So the first one is Academy Manufacturer, and we have it at a C-. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, this thing does some silly things. You play like a Dakkon extortionist, and let's say you get 8 treasures. Now you get 8 treasures, 8 clues, 8 food. There's a bunch of things that make a bunch of one of these. Oh, yeah. Every Titleist tracker trigger is going to get you one of each. This is really awesome. I mean, like with a Dakkon extortionist, you're going to be able to you can just draw 4 cards right away. If you
crack all the clues and then draw half that many cards.
Yep.
Or crack all the treasures, draw half that many cards with clues. Mm-hmm. And then the food is like, I'm also here, and you're never going to crack the food. But this is like Brutaclad. This is like an A++++ in that deck. You just got to focus on making those 3 things now, and you can't be stopped. You're a machine.
Yeah, exactly. You just need to make sure your deck wants this. The reason to C- is do not throw this in your deck randomly with like 2 synergy pieces. It does nothing. It's really, really bad sitting on its own. Side note, if you clone this, you get 3 times more every single time.
Right. So if you make 1 food with 2 of these out, you get 9 tokens.
Yes. So if there's 8, I don't know the number, but I'm sure it's really stupid.
Yeah, so right of replication, this is what I'm saying. Then you make Brutaclad make that all your tokens, and then you make 1 treasure. And the in-person game breaks.
Yeah, you have to, You
shatter reality.
You shatter reality with how many tokens you've just created. All right, moving on, we have Archon of Cruelty, D-. I'm really not interested in this. How many 8-drops do you want to be playing in your deck at all? It does a lot. There's like, somebody discard, you draw, gain life, lose life, whatever. But it's not enough. It's not enough for an 8-drop, and I'm just not interested.
Kind of reminds me of a Flying Grave Titan.
Yeah, kind of. It's sort of like that. I think it's probably
worse.
The problem with this is at 8 mana and up and down, like there's always you don't play this, you cheat it in.
Yeah.
Well, you don't do this, you do that. There's just better stuff. This is not going to fit that slot well because if you just drop in something like a Villas or a what's the guy that sacks to Razaketh? You drop in one of those, you're going to win the game way more often. Those cards are way better than this. If you're looking for a less powerful version of those, yeah, sure, this is fine.
Yeah, if you want to go big, but not too big, well, Archon of Cruelty, it's here at D- for you.
Yes. Third card we're going to talk about here, Bloodbraid Marauder. This is a solid F. You have to jump through hoops to get it activated, and then once it's activated, your deck is either built in a certain way or it does poop.
Yeah, you got to morph your entire deck around this. It's only 1 card, and there's already other commanders that do it better, like Yidris or Maelstrom Wanderer, where if you want to cascade into something and you want to build your deck a crazy way, you can, except they're your commander, so you always get to do the thing. This is just a random card in your deck, and I think it's pretty bad, and we can move on.
Yeah, I would never play this card. Next is Brea's Apprentice. That just makes a Thopter. It sacks him to do very minimal things. Maybe there are probably a deck or 2 out there that wants this card specifically. Maybe your Brea flavor decks want it.
Yeah, but we got it sitting at a D+. This is nothing special, to be sure. Calibrated Blast. What a bad card. This is a rare?
Yeah, this card is awful.
What does this do?
I don't even want to, this moving on. This is one of the worst cards in the set for EDH. Don't touch it. It's never going to do anything for you. Next, Chef's Kiss. I gave this a D+.
How can we not give Chef's Kiss a Chef's Kiss?
I love Chef's.
Stinks.
I love saying Chef's Kiss, but maybe in an alternate universe, it was my spoiler card, but it was not in this one.
Well, and it was a good card.
Yeah, and it was a good card.
2 alternate universes removed.
The problem is that it has to be a spell with a single target. Then you no. Sorry, no, thank you.
Chitter Spitter. You know, it makes squirrel tokens. It can do that. So we have it like it at C. Squirrel Tribal, it's probably like one of your better cards because there's very, very little Squirrel Tribal ammunition out there.
Yeah, the whole I like you make 1 token every single turn, which isn't too bad. So the tokens are just going to keep getting bigger. So you'll make a 1/1, then you'll untap and sack a useless token. Now that 1/1 is a 2/2, and you'll make a 2/2, and then the next turn it'll just do the same thing. They'll just all your squirrels grow with this.
Kind of pack rats because you go 1, 4, 9, then 16 power that it creates. So if this is going to stick around and you're in like a lower power environment where that's a thing you can do is slowly build up your board, this is going to run people over eventually.
Make sure that you have useless other tokens to sack to this so that you can make your squirrels beefy.
Or you can untap it.
Ooh, yeah, that's also something you can do. I am sure there are ways to do some wacky things with untapping, and I don't know any off the top of my head. Sure, they're good.
I think this card's better than it looks. Still a C.
Yeah, that's fair. Next is Dakkon Shadow Slayer. D+. It's just a Planeswalker, and in a Planeswalker weak format.
Yeah, Surveil on the plus. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. The plus isn't getting you anywhere. The minus is okay. And the ultimate has to be weak because it comes in with loyalty equal to the number of lands you control. So it can come with like 30 loyalty. So it obviously cannot have a broken ultimate.
Such a cool card.
Yeah, agreed. Card that is much cooler than it is good. Next, damn, this is a B+. This card is very, very good. It's just we talked about this in the other video. I'll say it one more time. You staple bad spell, 2 removal spell, or 2 board wipe. Boom, awesome. The weakness of board wipes is they only wipe the board. They only do one thing. Oh no, not this one.
Yeah, and usually they're like overcosted. If I can use my Wrath of God as a 1/1, feels pretty bad. Feels a lot less bad to spend half that mana on it. This card is amazing. It's only black-white. I mean, doesn't even really affect the grade. It's just one of the best board wipes ever.
Yeah, it's got to be top. I imagine this is top somewhere between
15?
I was thinking like
10.
I was thinking like 7. Like I couldn't think of I don't know if I can name 6 better than this off the top of my head.
I wonder if it's the best destroy all creatures because we all know like Toxic Deluge, Blasphemous Act, Cyclonic Rift are better. But is this the best destroy all creatures?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I mean, yeah. When you add when you destroy creatures in a unique way, or make it cost a ton less mana, yeah, we know that those are better. Damn, one of the best board wipes ever printed.
Next is a card we've already talked in great detail about in our top 10 video, but it's Dothy Voidwalker. Clearly one of the cards we think is the top 10 in the set. We have this at like a C+. The power of this card is that it doesn't really ask anything of you. It's always going to do something. But when it comes to do I actually want this in my deck, you kind of have to, at least in my opinion, I would put this in my deck if I was already milling or trying to sacrifice or take their cards. I kind of want to meet one of the objectives it's trying to do instead of just put this in my deck as a hate bear.
Yeah, you need synergies. Wow, once you have those synergies, though, this card will perform very highly. The thing is, it can come out on turn 2, and once it comes out on turn 2, people are just going to play Magic, and cards are going to end up going underneath this. And all of a sudden, he's a Swiss Army knife. He can be the removal spell you need. He can be the board wipe you need. Well, he can't be the board wipe. He'd be wiped away in the board. That one can't work. He'll be the counter spell you need. He'll be whatever the creature you need.
Somebody discards a board wipe. Yeah, he's a board wipe now.
Yeah, I mean this card is really good, and I love the Swiss Army knife thing. Just make sure to play it with synergies. Don't just go, this card looks amazing, throw it in my deck for no reason.
Yeah, I've seen. I think Kalidas is very similar. So I think in a Kalidas deck, if you're going to aggressively kill their stuff and try to mess them up because of the exile trigger, yeah, this is a similar card like that, and it'll probably be better.
Yeah, exactly. Up next is Dermataxi. We gave it a D. It's tough to make work. It's really funny and really silly, and one of my favorite cards from the whole set. But ultimately, it's just kind of weird. Also, it doesn't have crew. What a weird vehicle.
It kind of has crew. You have to tap any 2 creatures. They can even be 0/1s, and this thing still crews into maybe like a Jingataxius or something.
Crew would have made much more sense if it was just based on number of creatures. Like, oh, that's a skyship, crew 3. You need 3 people to crew a whole skyship. That makes sense. Your power doesn't work for me.
Or a guy holding an axe.
Or a guy that we gave a colossal hammer to. He
can definitely crew. He can actually crew a lot.
Yeah, everything. I think every vehicle ever printed. Next,
but actually not Dermotaxi.
Oh yeah, that's true. Dang, I didn't think about that. Up next, we have Diamond Lion. This card's an F. This card is awful.
Ugh.
The only deck I can think that will play this card is Kozilek.
Yeah, because they don't care how you get Kozilek in play, because Kozilek is such a free roll. Great Distortion, not Butcher.
Even
maybe Butcher. I'm just saying, like, they both refund you immediately.
They both don't care because they'll just refund you the cards you're getting rid of. Other than that, I'm not playing this card ever. I think it is absolute butts.
You want to explain why it's worse than Lion's Eye Diamond?
Well, let's see. It's a creature. It can't be activated the first turn it comes out.
And if you didn't know, you can't use Diamond Lion to cast spells from your hand. You got to discard your hand, and then you get the mana. And then what are you supposed to do with it? It's all like very specific decks. You know, maybe like 1 in 1,000 decks anywhere out there wants this card. You know who you are if you do. Otherwise, it's an F.
It's just, it's not Lion's Eye Diamond. It's not Lion's Eye Diamond. Don't confuse it and think it is. This doesn't do any of the cool combos.
No, none of the cool things. Next is Dress Down. It's sort of like Humility once for a turn, but we have it at like a D.
Yeah, I think this is only a CDH card most likely because I just don't see it. It's just not good enough. It's this weird one turn stop, maybe a combo or something for one turn. And then they could probably just do it again next turn.
Seems worse than like Sudden Spoiling, which we never really play.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I'm not interested in playing this card. Next is Endurance. This is a C. I like that you can like randomly hate out Graveyard for free. Just like stop something crazy from happening out of nowhere. Just they start setting up their Protein Ult combo and you just go, all right, for 0 mana, I'll stop it.
Yeah, it's nice, but like, what is this card doing?
Not much. I mean, that's why it's a C.
That's about it.
I mean, there's a reason it's a C and not like a B or an A.
Definitely a cuttable card. Definitely, you need some stuff going on. You need like critical mass of green cards, and then even then, you might not play it.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make sure you want this, but you most likely don't. Next, Esper Sentinel. Gave it a B. This card's really cool. I just want to augment its power.
Oh yeah.
That's as soon as you can augment its power, this card starts getting really powerful really quickly.
I want to put a Sword of Fire and Ice on it.
Yeah, that like any sword. I don't even care. I don't even give me Sword of Truth and Justice. I'll play that garbage on it.
that trashy card, because then it makes it even bigger.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we want. We just want to play all these weird cards.
Because no one's paying 3. No one's paying 3.
No, I mean very rarely. I mean,
yeah,
unless it's late game,
or they have nothing better to do,
or they literally are just out of resources.
Yeah, but it's just, oh man, or like Heirloom Blade goes on this, and then when it dies, you get another human.
A human, or what's the other type?
Soldier.
I think it's a soldier. Obviously, because the people on Esper,
known for their battle prowess,
but they're all like. What I'm saying is like he's filled with metal. He's like 90% metal. He's a human soldier.
Yeah, he's equal parts human and soldier. Got a hot streak for you of very not good cards.
Oh yeah.
Fury. Okay, it's an F. We don't need Pyrotechnics. We don't need to pay an extra card for it. I wouldn't pay 1 card for it. Moving on. What's next?
Gaia's Will. It's an F. I mean, you have to jump through hoops to make Yawgmoth's Will good. You had to jump through more hoops to make this good. This card is awful.
Yeah, I think it's just butts, and you shouldn't go near it. I think you'd just be better off, trying to cheat it out and playing like an As Foretold deck is one thing, but trying to think this card will be good in any other deck is probably wrong.
Yeah. Next is Gaia Drone Dihada.
It's Giga Drone Dihada.
Giga Drone Dihada.
There's no Gaia Drone Dihada?
Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a bad Planeswalker. It's probably okay in the right deck if you can really protect it. I'm not super interested in it.
This is your classic 4-mana standard, in this case, modern Planeswalker. We just have no interest.
Yep. Next is Glimpse of Tomorrow. All right. I didn't say this for casual, but I'll say it now. Suspend spells suck.
They're so bad. Think of how many suspend spells are good in Commander.
Is there any?
I can't think of any. I mean, not that doesn't mean there are none, but I cannot think of any.
The one that sees the most play is Wheel of Fate. Wheel of Fate. And that card sucks. I don't even think that card's good at all. So all you have to know is almost every single one of these is bad. F, not interested.
Yeah, we're going to give them very poor grades. You have to build way around them. Grief. It's a Thoughtseize. Do we need that? Nope.
Absolutely not.
Grist the Hunger Tide. Oh, you gave my boy Grist an F? Is it because he doesn't really do anything? I think it's actually a she. She doesn't really do anything.
She does nothing. This
card is so cool. I will build something around this at some point, but I don't know what, because the abilities are all so underwhelming. You'd have to like fill your graveyard and then proliferate this. Then you're in business.
Yeah, exactly. This card just doesn't do much. There's almost nothing here. I mean, sure, it does. It's got some of the coolest text on it.
Yes.
But it's really bad.
I was also like, can we squeeze this in the commander cube? I'm like, it just doesn't even do anything.
It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all. Harmonic Prodigy. This is like doubling up your wizard spell triggers. This can work in. This is very specific. In the decks where it works incredible, but it works in like 2 different decks.
Ooh, Adelise?
Okay, so there's the Adelises, what's the one that in the Veyran?
Oh, Veyran?
There is decks where this works in. If you throw this in any average deck, it's gonna suck. But in those 2 or 3, maybe there's 4 decks where it's really good. It's really good.
Hey. Next, all right. Actual good card now. Ignoble Hierarch. They just reprinted Noble Hierarch and then shifted it over to the Jund colors. So this is a mana dork that fixes you on 3 colors and just gives you randomly exalted. That's not nothing. It's just strictly better than if it didn't have that. It's an A-. These mana dorks are amazing. This is just another mana dork for like 3, 4, 5 color decks that is just like an auto include. You know, you go Deathrite Shaman, Birds of Paradise, and then it's like this.
Yeah, these cards are really good. I mean, it's just got like you said, just the gravy, absolute gravy of exalted. But it just taps for 3 colors, which is great fixing. It's just an A-. This card is really good. It's just a slight notch above like a Landwehr Elves, but obviously Landwehr Elves fits in more decks.
Are we gonna get more Hierarchs? Do we need more Hierarchs?
I don't know. Well, to be fair, Noble and Ignoble are
right. They're like
opposites. There's not really. Is there something in between that? Is there something in between Ig and Noble?
I could not tell you.
I don't think so. Next, we have Inevitable Betrayal. It's an F. Sorry. It's just the same thing as before. These cards are way too slow. I mean,
yeah, I'm just fine with moving on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cauldra Complete. What a sick card. What? This is so cool. They put all the Cauldra abilities on an equipment, and now it's a legendary thing, and it's unstoppable. That being said, that doesn't really translate to much in EDH, and we have this at like a D.
It's so cool. This is one of my favorite cards from the whole set. It's up there with Dermotaxi. But unfortunately, it's just not very good. It equips for 7, and I know it's 7, and it's living weapon, but it's still not that good. Oh, it's so sad.
I'm thinking like Sir Gwyn, Pure Steel Paladin, if you can move this around for free. I kind of still want to be on like a double striker.
Yeah, Sir Gwyn is probably the deck you wanted, and like you're saying.
Okay. I mean, I could see it there. That's why we have it at D.
Yeah, D. It does fit in some decks, just not enough.
Not any deck that you're going to equip for 7.
No.
How about that?
Oh, no. If you're never paying the 7. Next is Magus of the Bridge. This card sucks. First thing, it's just the text that matters on here is 1. It works on the battlefield, unlike Bridge from Below, which works in your graveyard, which is why it's decent. But 1, Bridge from Below sucks in EDH. It's not even close.
So
to it.
hard to.
Now it has to stay on the field. If a creature of your opponent dies, it's gone. It's just out of here.
What you have to do is you got to compare it with Dothy Voidwalker, so they can't.
No.
Now you got a decent card on your hands.
Burr.
When you said this card sucks, I thought of do you remember when I think the Krusty Krab is doing a talent show, and I think it might be Squidward, but then like in the audience, some guy yells,
"Oh, brother, this guy stinks!"
That's what I thought of.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I just had to. I've seen it like a bunch on social media. I had to share it. I had to bring it into Magic.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So what's up next?
Next is Master of Death. This card is super cool, and it's definitely going in our Commander queue where it's going to be super good. But in regular Commander, it's like a D+ because you got to care about a real specific stuff. Maybe discarding any deck where you'd want like Squee, Goblin Nabob. This is just better than that.
I guess the whole idea is you sack it every turn, pay a life, get it back, play it again. I'm not interested in paying 3 mana every time. That's the issue.
I don't even think that's it. I think you have to discard it every turn. Like that's what the limited archetype wants you to do. So I think if you're discarding this to get something, now we're talking.
Okay, maybe that's the whole idea. But
you don't have to pay mana.
But at the same time, it does surveil when it enters, so it has something to
It gives you the choice, but it's bad if you're casting it. And if you're discarding it, yeah, it's probably okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is a mana sink in a lot of ways, and it doesn't go away unless your graveyard's exiled. So it offers something, but a very specific deck wants this, and it's almost... You don't just throw this in your blue-black deck. It's going to stink.
Yeah, it's going to stink. Next, Moderation. I think one of the best cards in the set. We kind of had this pretty high in our top 10. This is a B. Every turn, you just draw a card. So the decks that play this have to build around it or have, want this already and go, whoa, this is just for me. And then when you put it in, you're going to be like unbeatable.
Exactly. Just make sure you just got to know your deck. Your deck has to be playing everything in instant speed. You want to have ways. Every other card you're playing should be able to go on their turn.
But I mean, if you just offset this, the problem is I can only cast one spell per turn. Nobody else has that restriction. What if I play Rule of Law? Now we all have the restriction, but I win.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. You just put both of these on. You get to draw every single turn. This is, if you don't know, if you put Rule of Law, like you said, you're playing an instant speed. You're going to counter their spell. They can't react. They don't get to stop you.
That was your spell for the turn. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So moderation is great because it's just going to keep filling your hand. You're never, ever, ever going to run out of cards. It's almost impossible.
And then when you're so far ahead, you just destroy it.
Yep.
Cast all your spells normally.
Yeah, and do your thing, win the game.
Next is Murktide Regent. It's like Tombstalker, but it's not. And Tombstalker is poop. And maybe in some world where you have you can make this cost extra mana and then delve extra cards and then give it haste and then attack for 40. That's good. But none of those things are real. So this is just an F.
You can exile extra cards from your graveyard after it's out and give it some counters. I don't know.
It's tough to do.
I think this card stinks. It just stinks. Next is Necroglyph. Give this a C-. Very specific deck, but it is good in those decks. You just want, it makes every player discard on their turn. It's worded the best way though, because you are the last one to do it. You get the advantage. Put this in your madness decks.
Much like how we always, or in the past, we've hated a little bit on Howling Mine. There's Kami the Crescent Moon, like Rite of Flourishing. It's just, hey, you get a cool thing, you get a cool thing, you get a cool thing, and then maybe I get a cool thing, but probably not. In this case, it's you get a downside, you get a downside, you get a downside. And if you want to remove it because it's a threat, I don't have to do anything. I just paid 5 or sometimes Madness 3 for this.
Yeah, well, it's madness. It's 1 black. Madness
3 for this is what I meant to say.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I said the whole time. You misheard me.
I must have misheard you. But yeah, this card is super good. You put it in your madness deck. Well, you want to discard where, if discarding is less of a downside for you, this card has even more upside, even though you go last on it. Wow.
Yeah, I definitely like Necroglyph. When I read Necroglyph, I think dumb, uninspired Tarmogoyf, but this has nothing to do with Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, but it does work with itself. I mean, it cares about, it has Tarmogoyf-esque text for its power.
Yeah, but it's like way less vanilla than I would think it is.
Yeah, it is. What's next?
Next is Nettle Cyst, another living weapon, but this one says the creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and enchantment you control. I don't think artifacts and enchantments usually go hand in hand, so it's going to be either or. Still big numbers. I don't hate it. You have to care about attacking and have a ton of stuff, so maybe some kind of, what's her name? Akiri partner deck?
Yeah, not super interested. Nettle's whatever. It's fine. Nettle, Cyst, whatever. Nettle. Next, I'm just moving on because I don't care about that card. Next is Nykthos Paragon. It's a B-. It only goes in life gain decks, but this card can just win you the game.
Each creature you control, I gain 5 life. I get 5 times the creatures I get power.
I mean, if I have 6 creatures in 7 mana, I can gain 10 life with Heliod's thing.
Yeah,
and put 10 counters on all my guys. I just gained 60 power out of nowhere. There's probably a life linker hanging out on the board because I'm playing a life gain deck.
Yeah, you're killing 1 or 2 players, and then good luck to the last guy.
Yeah, and then next turn, you put 10 counters on all your things. When your life linker hits, you'll get another 10 counters.
A fun fact, you might not know this about this card, but the sketch version, there's a typo on it.
Wait, really?
In the flavor text, it says Solider instead of Soldier.
A Solider, huh? Classic Solider. All right, what do we have after this one?
This next card's really weird. It's Obsidian Sharmaw, and I would have guessed that it would be like an F, but this is for each land the opponent controls that could produce a Wingdang. They only need 1 each, and then this thing is just, in the mid-game, 2 mana Wasteland, but it's on ETB, so you can flicker it.
Yeah, this can be abused. I don't know how good this thing is, and it really looked really bad on paper to me, but I could be completely wrong about it. Maybe this card is just so easily abusable. We already know ETBs are super easy to take advantage of with flicker, recursion, all of that kind of stuff. So maybe this card is better than I was originally thinking.
It kind of seems better than Avalanche Riders, better than Acidic Slime, at least for the rate of destroying a land. I think you want to flicker this, or in a dragon deck where you care about cheap dragons. This is a 2 or 3 mana dragon, I would assume, almost always.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the mana bases look like at your tables. I know I don't play a lot of Wastelands, but I know Beezy plays a ton of waste-producing lands.
I love it. I can't get enough.
I know. That's how you build decks. Next, we have Out of Time. It's like a pseudo board wipe, sort of, kind of, but stuff doesn't stay away forever. I'll spend one more mana and I'll board wipe, please.
It looks too much like Oblivion Ring for me. They don't get the ETBs when they blow up inevitably Out of Time, but I don't know. It doesn't look very good. It seems like it's cuttable.
Yeah, I'm not interested. Exactly. It's just I'm never gonna play it really. I can see, but again, the reason I gave it a C is because board wipes are just good. It's tough to get lower than a C on any sort of board wipe. It'll do a good job for you for a while. Ultimately, I'm probably never gonna play it, but I can see what the decks it goes in. Up next is Persist. It's a 2-mana reanimation spell, but Animate Dead and Reanimate are gonna do it better. And how many of these non-creature reanimation type spells are you playing?
Yeah, there's only so many before I just kind of want creatures in my deck because I need 40 creatures in my deck to do the thing.
And this one has the highest downside, which is that it doesn't get legends back. It's cool. The art's really cool. It's a Kithkin coming out of the ground because Persist comes from Lorwyn originally.
Yeah.
So they did a Lorwyn creature, which is
you
cool.
also can't really reanimate like a sack outlet if you need one because it'll probably die to the counter.
Yeah.
So if I need a Viscera Seer, I can't reanimate it. If I have the other pieces, but I need to sack 3 creatures, I can't get back my 1/1s.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Next, how about a creature reanimation spell?
Oh?
Well, it is Priest of Fell Rites. I gave this a B. I think this card is very good. It's black and a white, and it taps, pay 3 life, reanimate something. Now you have to untap to do this, but that would be just a medium card, like super medium. The unearth ability on this card makes it stellar. Now it's now you can mill over it, and you have a 5 mana, 3 life reanimate.
And when you do it, you draw a card because getting a card's worth of an effect off of something you didn't spend any resources to get, that's drawing a card.
This card is very good. I think it is it's so good in the decks it's good in.
You gotta need the black-white reanimator, otherwise. But I mean, black-white does aristocrats super well, so this does that perfectly.
If you're in a Carador type deck and you're not playing like super high power level, this is amazing. This has to go in your like
Elenda the Dusk Rose too.
Your Carador, your like fun Carador. This feels like a perfect card for it. It fits perfectly. It's so good.
That's pretty sweet.
Up next is Profane Tutor. I've heard there's some CDH type combos going on with this card. I give it a C overall for regular EH. Tutors are just good. I mean, even the slow tutors are still going to do something amazing.
You know, it's not suspend 3 or 4. 3 or 4 just feels hopeless. Like, you're never going to get there. Mm-hmm. That's why I think delay is pretty cool. 2, you know, you can suspend it early. Unlike some of the other ones, you can actually suspend it early because you know I'm always going to want a tutor. Maybe I don't always want flip cards until I hit my 6 drop, but I do always want a tutor. So, yeah, I think this is good early, and then it's mediocre late.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the problem with all these suspend cards is they suck late. They don't do anything late whatsoever.
Yeah, so it's right there at C, but cuttable, maybe C-. I don't know. Next, Resurgent Belief. I love this card because I think Replenish is cool, and I kind of wish we would have just gotten a different version of Replenish, but it's Suspend 2. It's like a D+. You have to already be in heavy Enchantress. If you can't get a Replenish, yeah, maybe this is the next best thing.
That's probably when I'm playing this card. When I'm in enchantments, I can't get a Replenish, but I really want to replenish in my deck.
Yeah, you have to do it like before you're ready to. It's so weird.
Next is Rise and Shine. This card is awful. It just puts it makes an artifact into an artifact creature and puts 4 counters on it. No, thank you. 0% interested. Has overload. Get out of here. Next, Rashad and Dakkon. Rashad and Port is awful, and it's 10 times better than this, so it's an F.
We don't care. How about Sanctifier?
Sanctifier and Vec. This is a hate card. It hates on black and red. 0% interested in hating on specific colors at all. Like, just, it's not there. Next, Sanctum Weaver. B+, though. This card is amazing.
Yeah, it's Serra Sanctum on a stick, and it counts itself, so it's always going to add 1 mana.
Yeah, exactly. It adds at least 1 mana. If your deck's doing its thing, it can add upwards of 5 to, like, 15.
It's just a Priest of Titania for Enchantress decks, but don't just throw it in a deck. You need some synergy, which is why it's on an A, because it performs like an A in those decks.
This card's insane. You need synergy, but it's going to be so good in the decks it's good in. Next is Scion of Draco. I gave it a C- because it does some things. The real reason that it even gets any grade is it can be taken down to only 2 mana in your 5-color decks. Do not play this outside of 5-color decks. I'm not even interested in playing this at 4 mana.
Well, I don't know, because with Prismatic Omen and Naked Dry Boy, Now you're in mono green, but you could still play this for 2.
Yeah, sure. I guess, yeah, there's some synergies that you can do with this. I'm really trying to be in 5 colors. That's where I'm interested, especially because if I'm in 5 colors, my commander's 5 colors, meaning he'll get all of those abilities, which is really going to buff up whatever my commander is. I mean, the Dragon. How pumped is the Dragon to play this? Okay.
Better with hexproof.
Yeah, the Dragon with hexproof, lifelink.
Vigilance, first strike trample.
First strike trample. Is that good?
That's like chromatic war. But with my mono green trick, you just get trample. You just get a 2-mana 4/4.
Exactly.
That card's terrible.
Exactly. Put me in 5 colors and I'm in. I'm in for this card. But that's the only deck it goes in. And I think whoever your commander is has to care about getting these abilities. And then I'm all in. And then it's really good.
Maybe heavy Simic with the naked dry boy trick. Then you guys get hexproof. Search the premises. I don't know. This card is like such an enigma to me. I don't know.
I give it a C+. I think it's so much like it's a way to draw cards in mono white.
Maybe. I just feel like attacking is just, it feels Ghostly Prison-esque to me. I'd have to see it first. It's probably better than that card because everything's better than that card. We always hate on Ghostly Prison, but maybe this is better. I don't know.
Being able to draw cards feels so much better than just paying 2 mana and hitting you. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, this card is, again, yeah, you're right. It is an enigma. It's really tough to judge because we don't really have too many cards like this. The only thing I can think of that's sort of similar is the recent commander card.
Yeah, the other card nobody's tested, the black one.
Yeah, I want to test
Strixhaven.
I do want to test that card. Yeah, that's another card where it's kind of like similar. Like if someone attacks you, draw a card from their deck, essentially.
I don't know. We've played it. The other card that's older is a blue card. It says whenever that happens, you draw a card. You just draw one. It's better than Investigate, and we just don't play that. Maybe because we're in blue. It's like something of Eternal, some kind of watch gate thing. But I tried it, and it just wasn't that great.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, maybe this card could either be, I could see this card being an F, or maybe it's a C. I don't know. It's really hard to judge.
Certainly not an A.
Certainly not an A. That's definitely true. Next is Sarah's Emissary. This is just way too expensive for nothing.
It's your classic big dumb white mythic. Solitude, it's okay. We talked about it a little bit before, so we won't go too in depth, but it's Swords to Plowshares. Sometimes it's free, and if you're blinking, that's where you actually want this.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, like BZ said, you flicker it, and you're going to get tons of value out of this card.
Yes. Next, Soul Talisman. I don't know if I necessarily agree with C-. I might put it at like a D. I guess this is another one I have to see. I don't know how many turns I need my Soul Ring to sit there kind of like phased out before it is still great anyway.
I'm not going to play this too often, but I think it's playable in some decks, and I think it's going to perform well in certain decks. That being said, I'm never going to play it. I don't like these cards that don't scale well in the late game. That's something, I cut those so fast. But I understand that it's a different way to get a Soul Ring out. And yeah, once it's out, it's obviously going to perform insanely well. We know Soul Ring performs insanely well.
Is this still going to be worse than like Worn Power Stone? I mean, Worn Power Stone is Soul Ring, but it kind of has Suspend.
Yeah, maybe you're right. It might be just worse than Worn Power Stone. And in that case, it would be like an F.
It would be not very good at all because we never played Worn Power Stone. Keep an eye out for this one. It could definitely underperform in a Worn Power Stone-esque way.
Yes. Next is Subtlety. I just give it an F. I don't think bouncing creature or planeswalker spells is going to be good enough to warrant a slot in your deck.
If it hit creatures and planeswalkers, yeah, I would be interested, but it's only the spells on the stack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm not interested in that. Suspend, I gave a D+. You just suspend their creature from the battlefield and it comes back anyway. No, thanks. No.
I think Sword of Hearth and Home, that's a sweet one.
Oh, I agree.
You get to flicker something and go get a land that ramps into play. Notably, this is like colorless ramp. This might be sort of the Animus levels. I would think this might be like a B.
Well, okay, I give it a C+. I could see it being a B, though. I think you have to hit with it. That's one of the keys. It is a much... it's one more on the casting cost, so it is. You play it a little later than your Sword of the Animus, but maybe they are similar. I think getting the hit in is why I have it at C+ compared to like what Sword of the Animus is.
I think it matters though what the protection is. Green and white are the most onboard colors in the format, and you have protection from those. Most blockers, I would say, probably green and white, and you just whisk on right by.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to play this card in any deck that cares about flickering, 100%. My flicker decks are 100% playing the sword every single time. No asterisks, no caveats. No. Every one of my flicker decks will have this.
Just be careful because once a creature has Pearl White, can't flicker it with a white spell.
Yes, if that matters to you at all, yes. Next, Sylvan Anthem. I'm not interested in giving my creatures +1/+1. Get out of here.
Small potatoes. Boo.
F. Territorial Kavu, D-. It's clearly not made for Commander at all. Thought Monitor gave it a C. It has affinity for artifacts, so ultimately it can cost 1 blue mana, and when it does, it draws 2 when it enters. That's what you want. You just need to really need to make sure your deck can use this. If you can have those 6 artifacts out, or even like 5 artifacts easily, that's where this card is going to perform like an absolute house. When you 2 mana, draw 2, get a 2/2 flyer artifact on top of it, now that's a good card.
Especially if you're flickering it. I think Thoughtcast is already pretty decent. Potential for it to be 1 mana draw 2. And this is just similar to that. And if you have flicker synergies, it's even better.
Yeah, exactly. It's a creature. I mean, the creature is going to help you too. It being and it's an artifact. Like the thing that Thoughtcast is lacking, it's not an artifact.
Right. So you have trouble working a not artifact into your all artifacts deck. How it doesn't fit.
Exactly. This one does fit because it is an artifact. Next, Timeless Dragon. It's fixed Eternal Dragon. Still not very good.
Finally, they fixed Eternal Dragon. I was waiting for them to do that.
Yeah. How about a D?
Yeah. How about it?
Yeah, that seems good to me. Unmarked Grave is next. It got a C-. It just doesn't get legendaries. No. I'm not interested.
It's cool. I like this card. It's just really neat that they kind of made a fairer Entomb.
It's really cool.
But it's a sorcery and, it doesn't get legendaries. It's obviously worse.
I'm obviously this now. I just don't think I'm playing it.
For budget, I don't know. Budget graveyard decks is like an A.
Sure. Yeah. Budget. Yeah. It might be really good. But it's a cool, unique, good design. A really cool, clever name for what it does.
It's not bad.
But it's just a C-. It just doesn't. It's just not that high.
It's not gonna make your best graveyard decks.
Yeah. Next is Urza Saga. This card's stupid.
Stupid. Both stupid design. I just don't think these words needed to be on a card, and it's pretty good. Actually,
stupid good.
It's a pretty good Magic card.
It's a B+. You can put this in almost any deck. You really can. I'm going to prefer putting in my decks where I have lots of utility slots and plenty of 0/1 drops to go get.
Here's your quadfecta. You got Skull Clamp, Soul Ring, Soul Guide Lantern, and an Expedition Map in your deck, and you're just feeling amazing.
Yeah, exactly. This card is absolutely stellar. And like I said, if you already have your Soul Ring out, oh no, it gets Mana Crypt now.
I guess I'll get my Jewel Lotus. Bummer.
Yeah, I know. What a bummer. What a very rich deck though. It's got Jewel Lotus. It's got Mana Crypt. It's got this new card that's probably like $30-$40.
Yes, it does.
Next is Verdant Command. I gave it an F. It makes 2 squirrels. The only decks that play this are squirrel decks. That's it.
Yes.
The other modes are worthless.
It's passable with the squirrels, and then the other 3 modes don't do anything. Like anything. They're like anything.
Sometimes they're randomly gonna get somebody. Like the Exile a Creature from a Grave is one in a million.
Planeswalker Ultimate.
Stop a Planeswalker Ultimate, and then don't even remember what the other one is because it's so bad.
It's probably like Scry 0. Void Mirror is our second to last card. It's a D. Some people were wondering if this is like too good or should be banned. Maybe from a fun perspective of let's all just play Magic. Iona's banned, even though it's like not too good, but it's not fun. This is similar, so maybe it could be banned. But on power level, no, it's like a D.
Yeah, I agree. It's just not the thing that I don't like about this card is that if I build my deck and I think Voidmere belongs in it for whatever reason, you shouldn't. And then you go to sit down and play, and somebody sits down with their Kozilek deck, and you draw your Voidmere. This is stupid. Either you can choose not to play your Magic card that you put in your deck that's a legal Magic card in the format, or that opponent can go, oh, I don't get to play after you play it.
Right. That's not what...
That sucks.
I mean, let's just talk about from I'm trying to get that effect. It's not guaranteed. There's not always free counter spells. We're talking about EDH, not CEDH. So not everybody's packing all of the deflecting thingies and the free counter spells. It's just meh. I don't want to shut down 5% of your deck for 2 mana.
Yeah, and I don't want to shut down a whole deck to cause unfun. So it's even that if you take fun into consideration, F-.
F-.
And last one, but certainly not least, Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth. This is the easiest A+ I've ever given. This is an auto include in every single green deck, sans maybe 4 and 5 color decks depending.
But also can go in non-green decks.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
So maybe even in those decks if you have something going on. Weird that we didn't save it, but it's the best card in the set for Commander, and it's the last card. That's super weird.
I think it's really cool. I actually heard rumors that they wanted to do the whole cycle, but because of stuff like boil, they couldn't do that.
Right. They make everything islands and then blow them all up.
And then boil. Yeah, it's like, that's really
Cool.
Yeah, no one wants to deal with that. I want to mention two uncommons just because they were really cool to mention. Artifact lands, I think they get a D+. Put them in your artifact decks. That's it. Timeless Witness, C+. It's really cool, and it has synergy, and it's just going to perform well every time.
It's not a bad card.
Yeah.
Not a bad card. We want to throw out those 2 bonuses
And
for
you might have noticed one thing between Rares and Mythics missing. No Legends. All Legends will be handled in our next video on Wednesday, which we rank every single commander from the set, and we put it against every other commander ever printed.
Yeah, we have I mean, some people don't know this. We did it a while ago. We ranked every single commander in the format, all 1,100 of them, and they're in a spreadsheet. You can go check out those videos and just click the link to see the spreadsheet in the description.
Yep. So that's where we'll be talking about the commanders. But that's our video. It's a long one, I know. Sorry, but we want to talk about every single one of these, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Special shout outs to every single one of our patrons. We love you all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable.
Yes, and aside from supporting us on Patreon or subscribing, you can go to the TCG link in the description, buy the cards you were going to buy anyway, and then when you buy them, we get a kickback on the order, courtesy of you, but you didn't spend any money. It's really TCG player says, you like them? Well, we like them, and now we're going to help support their livelihoods.
And if you can't get enough of the Nitpicking Nerds, hop into the Nitpicking Nerds Discord, where you can chat with us sometimes and hang out with people who like the Nitpicking Nerds.
Which, I mean, only people who like the Nitpicking Nerds are cool. People who like the Nitpicking Nerds are only cool. That's what I meant. Only people who like the Nitpicking Nerds are cool, and if you don't like the Nitpicking Nerds, you're probably not cool.
Tidbit about our lives.
Tidbit about our lives.
Your turn.
Well, boy, wouldn't you know it? It's my turn.
Yep.
I always wondered when it would be my turn.
It's every other video, actually.
We're cleaning the house that we're going to move into. It's actually happening. It's not one of those where you say it and then don't bring it up for 2 weeks and then your friends go, is that still happening? I don't feel like I can ask. It's actually happening. We just got to clean out, the basement and the upstairs, and then we're good to go. First floor is done.
Yeah, the first floor is done, other than we got to mop the floor, and then we're going to do the hallway, the upstairs. Yep, that's it.
The one thing I thought of, there might be a beehive somewhere. I don't know. You guys got, bees hovering around your roof.
Where? But the beehive's not in the house.
I don't want it near the house.
I can't help that.
I'll have to hire a bee assassin or something.
A bee assassin?
Yeah, with a sniper rifle. He just blows beehives out of the sky.
Do you think beehives float in the sky?
I wish they did. It'd be farther away from the house.
There's might be a beehive somewhere.
That house is disgusting, so I imagine there is probably 10 hordes of bugs somewhere.
House isn't that gross. It's our house.
Not yet. It's not my house, so it's clean.
Oh, yeah. Is that how it works?
Yes.
Didn't know that. Peace out, Tribe Scout.